Now, one of the main themes of the DUP party conference was unionist unity. Gavin Robinson telling those assembled, when unionism is divided, our opponents prosper. The TUV came under fairly regular attack from the podium at the weekend, as did Sinn Féin and others. But the TUV leader, Jim Allister, responded by saying the DUP dresses up paralysis as progress. They talk unionist unity while attacking unions who dare to challenge them. And he joins us now. Thank you very much for being with us. The sort of resounding call from the party conference referencing your party over the weekend, Jim Allister, seemed to be that you preferred Starmer to Stormont. Is that right?
No, I think the dividing line here is that the DUP, having joined with all other unionists and united in unalterable opposition to the protocol, and that was the purpose and declaration of the United Unionist Declaration of 20th September 2021. The DUP then gave up on that. They lied to the unionist people of Northern Ireland. They told them to get rid of the Irish Sea border with Gavin Robinson.
They said it's Labour that have failed to implement it, Jim Allister. That's who they say. They say it's not them, it's that Labour broke their promises and that they haven't taken it forward the way they should have done.
Sorry, it was Jeffrey Donaldson with Gavin Robinson nodding in assent, who told the unionist people they'd get rid of the Irish Sea border. No one else. Gavin Robinson and Jeffrey Donaldson. That was, and then they gave up the only leverage unionism had by going back in to implement the protocol, because you cannot be wedded to Stormont without being wedded to the implementation of the protocol. That is the legal requirement, and therefore that is what sadly they became, protocol implementers. Now, because TUV has always stood firm in those issues, because our message is clear and emphatic, because we have not betrayed the trust that was placed in us. We've been living in the DUP's head for some time on these issues. Mm-hmm. But, unless and until the DUP returns to the agreed unionist position of 2021, that there must be unalterable opposition to the protocol, then the protocol is going to remain, because the government have their measure. They know they say one thing and roll over the next day.
I want you to have a quick listen to Paul Given. This is the Education Minister of the DUP, of course, criticising your strategy. Oh, hope we do have that clip of Paul Given there.
Unionism cannot afford to engage in political self-harm, but anger, often justifiable, is no substitute for strategy. If your car isn't working, you bring it to a garage. You don't drive it off a cliff. That's effectively what the TUV would have us do. A siege mentality may bind people together for a time, but it is no recipe for ensuring a lasting union. It does nothing to help the real lives of real people.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, Mr. Given may realise that the DUP car is broken. It's broken because they filled it with Sinn Féin placating fuel. That's why it's broken. And of course, in Stormont, they're not only implementing EU law, they're implementing Sinn Féin law, because Sinn Féin, as the dominant party, calls the shots. Okay. And they are toadying to Sinn Féin, and we've seen that recently in the establishment of an Irish language commissioner to ram Irish down.
So what's your alternative to devolution?
Well, my alternative is to bring the government to heel on the protocol.
How do you propose to do that?
Right. There's an assembly election coming up. My party strategy would be very simple. There can be no executive so long as there's a protocol. And if we can coalesce that, synchronise that with the likely change of government in Westminster, then we're in business. Because it's quite clear that this Labour government, on present showing, is on its way out. They're the people who are clinging to the protocol, helped by the DUP. So
very much remains to be seen. I know that there is a rise of reform, but it's still a long way down the track, isn't it? Sorry? It is a long way down the track before any reform government exists. In fairness, it is a couple of years till the next election. I just wanted you to answer...
But principle is principle. And if it's wrong to implement the union dismantling protocol today, then it'll be wrong to implement it in 2 years' time.
So you want the executive to collapse until reform gets in? Is that the plan?
The strategy is to reclaim the leverage that unionism had. The government now knows that the DUP is all talk and bluster. So long as they lead unionism, then they have their measure and will see that they roll over every time. No point in saying you're against the protocol and then they'll be going into work to implement it. That's what the DUP is doing in Stormont, implementing the union dismantling protocol. Okay, that's the fundamental division.
I have to leave it there, Jim Allister. Thank you very much indeed. Jim Allister.